to the Who Dat Nation. Welcome to the Who Dat Say podcast, your podcast for the New Orleans Saints here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, welcome to the Week 13 recap of the Saints versus the Dolphins. The Saints fall yet again to the Dolphins by the score of 21-17 this Sunday in Miami, the site of the Saints' first and most likely only Super Bowl victory. This loss puts the Saints at 2-10 on the season. The Dolphins improved to 5-7. I didn't have the heart. I just didn't have it in me to do a preview for this game. If you noticed, I didn't do a preview episode for the Saints versus the Dolphins because I just don't have it no more. After last week, I'm done. And it's like this team is what it is. There's nothing to hope for. There's nothing to look forward to. They're just there. And honestly, after this game was over, I didn't have it in me to do this recap. I didn't. I'm really forcing willing myself to do this episode. I don't have much to say. There's nothing new to say about this team that I haven't said already. The Saints are a horrible football team. They are one of the worst. I was saying the worst, but the Tennessee Titans just slightly has the edge. They only won one game this season so far. And, that makes that matchup in a couple of weeks against Tennessee much more interesting to see who will get the first overall pick this offseason, because that's what it's going to come down to. The Saints aren't winning any other game this season. This was their last best chance for a real victory other than the Tennessee game. But like I said, I'm not even confident in that. This is a regime that is not suited to win. And that goes from general manager. Well, no, that goes from owner to general manager to head coach, and it filters down to the players. This is the worst that I've seen this franchise in the 40-something years that I've been watching this team, been cheering for this team. This is the worst. This is borderline embarrassing. I wasn't embarrassed today because I wasn't expecting the Saints to win today. But once again, if you have a team like the New Orleans Saints who have a head coach who is known for his offensive game planning and play calling, can't score over 17 points, I don't know what to say. A defense that, for the most part, did their job. The defense did their job today. Yeah, 21 points are on the board, but 2 of those points came off of a pick 2, not a pick 6, but a pick 2 on a 2-point conversion attempt. And aside from that, the Saints defense, we got sacks, we got turnovers. What more can you ask from this defense? This defense is built to kind of maintain a lead, to keep you in games. And that's what he was doing. And keeping us in the game, that is, because we never had the lead. I think the Saints only had the lead, 3 times this season? Overall, at any point in any game, 3 times. And 2 of them we won. And so, go figure. I'm not confident that this team will ever get any better. I don't care what moves they make in the offseason, what game plans they shift. There's nothing that's going to get better from this team. Tyler Shuck looks great. Tyler Shuck looks like the quarterback of the future. He looked great. He made some throws today that were super impressive. That final throw that could have won the game, that last throw of the game to Olave to the corner was the best throw I've seen since Drew Brees. Honest to God, I'm not talking in hyperbole. That was an amazing throw. Olave didn't catch it. That would have won the game. Shockingly, that's after starting this game 16-0 at halftime. They almost won this game. but that wasn't because of Kellen Moore's great adjustment at halftime. That was more of Miami refusing to do what worked for them. They went away from running the ball. They actually were running down the Saints' throat. I'm chiefing up the defense, but the defense got to do better with this run stop. Teams are starting to run on the Saints at will, but the Miami Dolphins just stopped running the ball. I don't know what happened. And the Saints never tried. The Saints didn't even try to run the ball, keep this defense honest. They were one dimensional virtually the entire game. But in any event, I'm going to do a short episode. We're going to go over the stats. I'm going to grade them, and we're going to get up out of here. It's really nothing to talk about other than what I said. But I don't have nothing new. There's nothing new. Let's see. Well, I can't say some new thing. Okay. There are some positives to take away. Yeah, there are some positives to take away from this game. Oddly enough, like I started off, Tyler Shuck. Tyler Shuck looked amazing. Devontae, not Devontae, Devont Verley looks like a revelation. It looked like he arrived today, making some awesome catches, contested catches. I think he had two, maybe one touchdown today, close to 100 yards. Yeah, he looked amazing today. Our kicker, Charles Smith, it was only one kick, but he kicked it. It was a 6-yard field goal, and it looked like you could have backed him up 5, 6, 7 yards, and he still would have cleared it. What a kick. In the rain, mind you. And you had him on the sideline, and he perfectly executed a onside kick. That was probably the best kick that I've seen onside wise in this new format that you have. And so that came to a negative. Like, you had him sitting on the bench, and we around here playing with the little Keebler F, Blake Groupie all this time. Man, it just got me mad. I was like, bro, this dude has a leg, and it looks like he knows what he's doing. But the excuse Kellen Moore gave, he's a developmental player. I can't tell. Now, granted, it was just 2 plays, and we're talking about field goal kicker, but obviously that's a area that we struggle in the past with this Blake Groupie fella that's no longer on the team. But it's sickening. It's sickening that you couldn't make this decision sooner, because those field goals played dividends. They played dividends last week. It played dividends. I want to say week 3, week 4, somewhere up in there. I can't even remember who you're playing, but I know the field goals play a part in a lot of this game plan that Kellen Moore plays, because he plays for field goals. He doesn't play to score. He plays for field goals. And so, yeah, you do have that. Like I said, defense looked fairly well today. Shouts out to Cam Jordan. I think he had 2 sacks today. Yeah, it was nice. It was a nice outing for the defense, but that offense is pitiful. That offensive line is pitiful. Chris Olave is pitiful, and I have nothing else to say. And so let's go into the stats of this game, this Week 13 matchup, beginning with passing leaders. Tyler Shuck for the New Orleans Saints. He was 26 of 38, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception today. Tua for the Miami Dolphins, 12 for 23, 157 yards passing, and 1 interception. No touchdowns. Leading rusher for the New Orleans Saints today was Devin Neal, 14 carries for 47 yards. For the Dolphins, you have a Kane. He had 22 carries for 134 yards and a touchdown. Leading receiver for the New Orleans Saints was Bailey, 8 catches for 93 yards and a touchdown. I'm telling you, he was a beast today, a pure beast. Leading receiver for the Dolphins today was Devin Waller. We're very familiar with him. I remember when he played for the Raiders, I believe. It was a Monday night game when he played the Saints and single-handedly destroyed the Saints. Well, he's playing for the Dolphins now. Really didn't make any noise today. He was the leading receiver with 2 catches for 47 yards. So that tells you all you need to know about the Dolphins. Jalen Waddle, none of that. No Cedric Wilson. I think he had a catch today, but that was it. It wasn't nothing through the air for the Dolphins. Sack leaders, like I said, Cam Jordan had 2 sacks today. Chop Robinson, I should say, linebacker, he had 1.5 sacks today. Demario Davis had 9 tackles today, 5 solo. And for the Dolphins, you had Brooks. They had 12 tackles today. Team stats. Saints had 294 total yards today to the Miami Dolphins, 298 yards. Turnovers, Saints had 2. Dolphins had 1. Total first downs, Saints had 20. Dolphins had 16. Penalties, Saints had 6 penalties for 45 yards. Dolphins only had 3 penalties for 15 yards. Third down conversions, Saints were 4 for 12. Dolphins were also 4 for 12. On fourth down conversions, Saints 0 for 1. Dolphins also 0 for 1. In the red zone, the Dolphins were 0 for 2 in the red zone. The Saints got into the red zone twice today. Saints converted twice. I can't believe it. Saints were 100% in the red zone today. Time of possession was a few seconds from being even. Dolphins had the ball from 30 minutes and 8 seconds. Saints 29 minutes and 52 seconds. Just to update everybody, safety Justin Reed, he left the game, I think in the first drive of the game, with a knee injury. He didn't return. Doesn't look good for him. That's the only real injury that I saw today. At least serious wise, we'll find out later, of course. But elsewhere around the NFC South, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are the Saints' next opponent next week, they come out victorious against the Arizona Cardinals today, 20-17. The Carolina Panthers beat the Los Angeles Rams, and I mean beat them. The score does not reflect. I was going back and forth on that game. It was 31-28, but that score doesn't reflect. I don't know how the Saints beat Carolina. I have no earthly idea how we won that game, because since that game, Carolina has been putting foot in teams, and it looks like there's no looking back, because up to this point, well, before I get to that, the Atlanta Falcons, they lost. They lost to the New York Jets today, 27-24. And as much as it sucks to sit here and see my team struggle, it makes it a little better to see Atlanta struggling as well. We should have beat them last week, but it spilled milk. But it does feel a little better. So as it stands right now in the NFC South, you can believe me, look it up yourself if you think I'm lying. The NFC South looks like this. Tampa Bay is 7-5. Carolina is 7-6. Right there on them, at the top of the division. At the bottom, you have Atlanta, who is 4-8. Saints are 2-10. As I said before, next week the Saints will turn right back around and go back to Florida to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That game will be on December 7th, 12 noon on CBS. Now, the grades for this Sunday's matchup against the Miami Dolphins, I don't even know how to grade them. And in case you don't know, your first time listening, how I grade them, how I grade this games, I grade all 4 positions. That's defense, offense, special teams, coaching. Round them up, add them together, and come out with an overall grade for the Saints' performance against the Miami Dolphins. Starting with the offense. The offense today gets a C minus. And that was a tough one to grade because if you go by that first half, is an F. If you go by the first half of this game, that was an F performance. But the second half, and Tyler Shuck is the one who really, really, really put this game on his shoulders and ran with it, man. He really wheeled this team to almost a comeback. He almost brought him back. And kudos to him. He made some tough catches. He was running for his life most of the game and stayed in there. And even when he threw the pick, he bounced back, shook it off. Was really impressed by his performance. But other than that, the play calling, the lack of a run game, lack of pass protection and run blocking and all that, the drop passes and this, that, and the third, it was unexcusable. Yeah, they get a C minus. Defense gets a B plus today. I mean, like I said before, what more can you ask of this defense? That gets you turnovers, that gets you stops. You know, what more can you ask? It shut down the pass attack. There was zero pass attack from the Miami Dolphins today, even though they're not a pass team. But Miami, the last few weeks, have been putting up some points. They've been scoring. And to the Saints defensive credit, they really put a cap on that battle. So I'm happy with the defense performance. That first drive, that opening drive where they pretty much ran it down their throat and scored, wasn't a good look. A couple of other drives where I felt they whipped on a lot of tackles. I'm looking at you, Alante Taylor. Yeah, they need to get better in areas there. Miami just couldn't exploit it, but for what was put in front of them, they did a decent enough job to keep the Saints alive enough to come back and win it. It just wasn't enough to win. Special teams gets an A plus today, an A plus, and this isn't me just I told you so. We should have got rid of Goopy and all this here. That wasn't the case. It was really special teams as a whole. I mean, our punter had some really good punts. I think he nailed, pinned him within the 5-yard line on one of those punts he kicked, trying to flip field position. And yes, Charlie Smith, what a find, what a revelation so far. Because let's not forget, Blake Grupe crowned the fame was him coming out first time kicking a long field goal to win a preseason game, and we thought that he was the second coming of Martin Anderson all of a sudden. So anything can happen, but right now he looks good. They actually recovered an onside kick, something that's impossible these days with the rule change. Because you can't surprise nobody with it. It's coming, and they perfectly executed onside kick. Yeah, I got to give him an A plus. Coaching gets a D minus. Defense saved them because offensively it was some horrible. I mean, bro, the game management and everything. It's just, bro, we are 13 weeks into this season and he still hasn't learned. Sometimes you let it go in the first couple of weeks because you're still trying to feel things out as a head coach, especially your first go around. We're 13 weeks in, man. And you can't figure it out. You're still doing the same things you did week 1 and thinking it's going to work. It didn't work then. It's not going to work now. Yeah. Like I said, nothing else to say about that. Overall, today, I give the New Orleans Saints a grade of a C minus. Yeah, it was all right. I don't have anything good and or bad or further to say about the New Orleans Saints game today. The tale of two halves. The second half was a much better team. If they played half that good in the first half, Saints probably walk away with a victory today, but it is what it is. Yeah, that's all I pretty much have to say today. I don't have nothing to say about this team. This team, I'm just at this point, I'm just sitting back wishing that this season was over. I'm hoping that we can get through these next 4 weeks unscathed as far as major injuries for these players. But I don't see this team doing anything to shock the world. Our remaining games are we got Tampa next week, then you have Carolina, then you have the Jets, Tennessee, and then Atlanta. How many of those you think the Saints will win? And maybe the Jets, maybe. No, I'm sorry, not Jets. Tennessee. Anything else? I don't see. I don't see. Because Carolina, you think you're going to catch Carolina like you called them a couple of weeks ago? I doubt that. Carolina, especially now when they are so close to this division title, they're in a dead heat with Tampa. They can't afford to sit back and just chill. And plus, they're out for blood because they feel they got embarrassed. They shouldn't have lost that game. They didn't come prepared. They didn't. They looked past the Saints, and I think they would tell you that. And the Saints know they shouldn't have won that game. Even in that game, we couldn't score over 17 points. But it'll be a different team. The Jets score. And that's all you got to do to beat the Saints. Score 3 times. 2 touchdowns and a field goal beats the Saints. Because the Saints they can't do anything else. They cannot score. And so the Jets probably going to put up 30 points because they average about 30 points a game. They can't win because they average giving up about 37 points a game. But they will score. Tennessee, I think their struggles are a little deeper than ours. But Tennessee has a better excuse than we do. They really are in a rebuild. Saints are trying to fake the funk and act like they're not in a rebuild and when they should be in a rebuild. And so you might catch them. Atlanta, I don't know. Closing out the year, going out on a good note, I don't know. And at that point, I want you to win because you're going to mess up your draft positions. You're already top 3 right now. That Tennessee game, you don't really want to win that Tennessee game because you're pretty much playing for the first draft pick, the first overall pick. Because whoever loses that game is probably going to be the number 1 pick. And so I don't know, man. I don't know how they're going to play that game. But either way, that's all down the hill. I'm not looking for the Saints to win any of them, to be honest with you. Don't want them to. They don't deserve to. They not, and it's not the players. I don't put it on the players because I actually see effort from the players. I actually see some heart from that team. It's the coaching. It's the coach. I don't like Kellen Moore. Put it plain. I don't like him. He's not a good coach. But the sad part is he's here because that's how he coaches. He coaches like his job is secure. He's not going nowhere, and he's not. And that's how he coaches. He don't coach like his job is on the line. See, me and you, we got to go to work every day and prove that we're worthy of this job, that we deserve to be here. Or otherwise, if we go to work and be incompetent week in and week out, they're going to fire us. Whatever job it is, if not fire you, demote you or something, there'll be some type of reprimand. Not with him. They're going to reward him. Oh, he's doing the best he can. He's doing a good job. He's getting the team prepared and all. They're not prepared. They come out ill prepared. But, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to shut up now because I'm just going to be repeating myself over and over and over again. And it could be summed up in one simple statement. The New Orleans Saints suck. That's where we at right now. But I'd like to know, what did you think of the Saints Miami outing? Did you see any hope in this team, or do you feel like I feel like whatever? This is the team we got. I would like to know your thoughts. Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network as well as YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the Who That Say podcast here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me as we recap this Week 13 game or whatever it is against the Miami Dolphins. I hope everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving at least. Did you eat good this week? I did. I think the last of the leftovers are done. Now we have to start eating some real food. But it was a good Thanksgiving. And I hope that everybody else enjoyed theirs as well. Until next week, when the Saints take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm going to reluctantly going to be screaming to the top of my lungs, who that?